Hey YouTube, Blade 98 here. There's going to be a few set topics to this video. The first of which is going to be WWE's recent releases on August 7th and August 8th of 7 people who are performing and or working on the ECW brand. The full list of releases is available in the info box of this video, and I guess I'll go down the list and give my thoughts on them being gone from the company. The first of which, released on August 7th, is the one I believe most YouTubers by this point are aware of, and that is Braiden Walker, aka Chris Harris. He left. Frankly, I'm not too sad with this one. I'm not disappointed with him going, unlike I am disappointed with him the way he was used. Frankly, I was excited when he first signed with WWE, and not to take a shot at TNA, but it's because of the reason that they have a lot of alumnus from other companies. They have a lot of people who've worked for WWE, people who've worked for WCW, people who've worked for even ECW in some cases, like the Dudley Boys. But pretty much I thought it'd be kind of cool because Chris Harris is the first person WWE would have gotten from TNA that was an established name there, because like Kurt Angle, Christian Cage, they were established names in WWE, but they're doing a lot better in TNA. And anyone who's gone to WWE, Gail Kim, Frankie Kazarian, at the points they did, it was when TNA was a much smaller prospect, and they were too. So, their names have evolved since then. They've grown a lot bigger, but frankly, Chris Harris was the only person who would have gone to WWE who would have actually had made a name for himself at the point of leaving. But, he was pretty much boring and bland on ECW. You can't really blame Harris for it. He was only there for 3 or 4 weeks. He had a backstage segment with Matt Hardy and like maybe 2 or 3 matches, but hopefully he'll go back to TNA. I'm just really disappointed with the way he was used. I thought maybe he could become a U.S. champion. I thought he would have made a great United States champion, possibly as good as MVP or Matt Hardy did, but it would have been cool if he won the belt from Matt Hardy instead of Shelton Benjamin, because Benjamin's not really doing much with the title. He should have stayed on ECW. Braiden Walker should have never gone to ECW. Next up is, I'm not going in order of the list because I can't remember 7 people in order like that. But I do have all the names memorized. The next person up is Shannon Moore. I'm a bit disappointed with this one. I really liked Shannon Moore, and I'm sad to see him go. He was pretty much a jobber in WWE's mind. He didn't win a whole lot of matches, but I loved his tag team with Jimmy Wang Yang. I thought he was a great high flyer. I wish him the best. Hopefully he'll go to some company that'll treat him better, like ROH or something maybe. As do I hope for the next guy, who is also pretty much misused. That's Nunzio. He's been a jobber for years on end. I don't think he's won a match since like 2004. He's gone, and maybe he'll go to TNA. I don't really care much about this one because we haven't even seen him in a long time, but if you are a fan of Nunzio or you liked the FBI, then you'll probably want him to do something better. Maybe he'll end up in the independent circuits in a more respectable position. The next 2 people I don't really think many will care about. Nick Patrick, who's a referee, and James Curtis is a jobber from ECW with he's the guy who has blonde hair. He usually wears a vest or something and underwear. Who else is there? Let me think. Oh yeah, Big Daddy V. I never would really want anyone to lose their job. I think that'd be a cruel thing to wish upon anyone, but I'm actually glad to see him go. He was a decent heel for a couple months. He was a Viscera for a long time, which was just an awful, disastrously bad gimmick for years on end. And, his time has come. WWE gave him an absence of leave to lose some weight because he was like 580 pounds, bordering on 600, I would estimate. But, hopefully he'll do something better. I think they should have, at least, if he had lost some weight at least, I think they should have given him a chance to come back and like prove himself that he'd, become a bit better, but they didn't do that. I'm not terribly disappointed with this one. I'm kind of happy to see him go. Good luck to you, what is it, Nelson Frazier or something, now that he's no longer Viscera or Big Daddy V. Who else is there? There is Domino. you know, he hasn't done a whole lot since the tag team broke up, and neither of them have really done anything since they've lost the tag team belts, and that was a pretty long time ago by this point. You know, with Domino gone, and I don't think Deuce has even debuted yet. I don't think Domino debuted either. We'll probably see Deuce get released some point within the next few weeks, few months. I think I got all of them. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got everyone. Okay, we have Braiden Walker, James Curtis, Nick Patrick, Big Daddy V. Close enough. Anyone else who's on the list, feel free to contact me about. I might have forgotten one or two people. Next up is, oh yeah, unlike any of the people mentioned prior, he is supposedly not legitimately leaving, and that is Kaz. You know, he announced on Karen Angle's interview segment, Karen's Angle, a few weeks ago that he is leaving TNA. He is done with TNA. From what I've heard from, you know, many respectable opinions on here, people who usually have the truth in their word, that this is actually just a work and that he's going to be coming back with a mask or something. You know, people in TNA don't really have the best luck with masks. The only one who really has is maybe Abyss, but if he comes back with a mask, let's just, God forbid, he's going to join the Prince Justice Brotherhood. Those are three guys with masks that are pretty much, you know, their gimmicks pretty much hamper their wrestling ability. Eric Young, you know, he's mildly entertaining, has some good moves. Sanjay Dutt, he's not in there, never mind. But he does have a bad gimmick, which would probably come with Kaz if he came with a mask. Who else was I going to say? Oh, Curry Man, which is Christopher Daniels. He's okay, actually, in his mask. I guess he's done this persona long enough to make it good. And Stone Cold Shark Boy, which is awful. Shark Boy adding the Stone Cold only made it worse. Just God. I don't know why TNA would make him leave. I always loved Kaz's persona, but supposedly all the losses in big matches that have racked up against him, in kayfabe at least, are pretty much just, you know, they're just getting to him, and he's going to come back hopefully. But I wish Kaz the best, and if this isn't a work, hopefully we'll see him in a better company or a better position. If it is a work, don't come back in the Prince Justice Brotherhood, because that is gay. The final topic of this video is going to be WWE's Commentary Tornado, since Mick Foley's contract is expiring and he's not happy with his, you know, he said he's happy with working with JR, but he doesn't like being screamed at over the headsets by Vince McMahon or something. You know, it's something you gotta deal with if you work there. Sometimes you just gotta suck it up and keep going, but I guess he wasn't used to that as a performer, and he might not be coming back. His contract expires in early September, and you know, Mick Foley being out on injury, supposedly, they're just using this pretty much to give him some time off for negotiations, I believe. But frankly, this has resulted in some very impromptu commentary teams. On ECW, we saw Matt Striker and Todd Grisham. They did a decent job. Didn't put much excitement or emotion into the things. They were pretty much very monotonous. They did a decent job, though. Cole and Lawler are still intact on Raw. They haven't been switched around at all. JR actually commentated with Taz this week, which I liked a lot. If Mick Foley is leaving, you know, I would actually like to see JR commentate with Taz, because, you know, I've always liked it when they've teamed up for, like, the Royal Rumbles in past years. But hopefully WWE will get this whole commentary situation in check. Adam Lee left, and then they had Taz do it alone, and ECW hasn't had the same commentary team for several weeks. They had Matt Striker and Todd Grisham, then they had Taz and Todd Grisham, and then there was Mike Adamle the week before, I think. Whew. Anyways, hopefully they'll get all these things in check. Hopefully WWE won't release any more good names like Shannon Moore and stuff, and hopefully Kaz will not join the Prince Justice Brotherhood. I apologize for that long pause during the when I was talking about Kaz, but you know, there was a fly just buzzing around me. It was irritating and distracting, but I'm sorry for that. And I thank you for watching very much. Thank you for subscribing. You know, rate, comment, subscribe. Thank you